If you clicked on this video, it's because a deeper part of you has already been reaching out. Through patterns you've noticed but couldn't explain. The same numbers appearing everywhere. Thinking of someone seconds before they text. Waking at 3:33 a.m. with sudden crystal clear insight. These aren't random coincidences. There are 7 specific signals that only a small percentage of people consciously recognize. In the next several minutes, you're going to see yourself in them, using your own recent experiences as the evidence. Now, let's begin. If you're watching this right now, I need you to do something unusual. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, let go of whatever you were thinking about just moments ago. What I'm about to share isn't just another video you'll forget. This is a conversation between you and a part of yourself that's been waiting for permission to speak. That might sound bold, maybe even too direct, but stay with me. Something in you already recognized this was meant for you. You didn't stumble here randomly. Your awareness brought you here. My role is simply to give you language for what you've known all along, but haven't been able to explain without sounding crazy. Now I'm going to say something important before we go any deeper, because people keep getting confused here. In this series, we sometimes use the word Sophia. Sophia is not a goddess to worship. She isn't a deity. She is a concept, wisdom itself, the intelligence of discernment, the ability to see what's real beneath what's loud. In ancient traditions, Sophia is the archetype of wisdom. In our context, it's the name for that sharpened awareness that can read reality before you can explain it. If you remember that distinction, you'll stay protected from the biggest trap online, turning symbols into idols. Now let me start with a question that might feel uncomfortably accurate. Have you ever thought of someone you haven't spoken to in months, and within minutes they call or text? Have you walked into a room and immediately sensed tension, even though everyone was smiling? Or had a gut feeling about a decision, ignored it because it didn't make logical sense, and later realized you were absolutely right? If you're nodding along, you're already operating with something most people either don't have or have learned to suppress completely. Here's the interesting part. Science has started catching up to what ancient wisdom traditions have known for millennia. There is a measurable difference in how certain brains process information. If you've ever felt like you see connections others miss, like you operate on a frequency slightly different from those around you, you're not imagining it. Neuroscientists call it high integrative processing. Your brain has stronger connectivity between the prefrontal cortex, which handles logic and planning, and the limbic system, which processes emotions and intuition. Practically, this means you're constantly synthesizing information from multiple streams at once. While most people process linearly, from point A to B to C, your brain is processing A, B, and C, while simultaneously noticing the patterns between them. The emotional texture, the subtle body language, the energy of the environment, and dozens of other data points all at once. This isn't mystical, it's neurological, and everything that follows builds on this foundation. Most people with this wiring spend their lives thinking something's wrong with them. They're told they're too sensitive, too intense, that they overthink everything. So they learn to override intuition with logic. They dismiss meaningful coincidences as chance. They talk themselves out of gut feelings because they can't provide rational evidence. Every time they do this, they train their nervous system to stop showing them what it sees. It's like having a sophisticated internal guidance system and choosing to navigate by guessing instead. So today we're not doing vague activation. We're building a practical framework for consciously working with the intelligence you already possess. Because the difference between someone who has this wiring and dismisses it, and someone who has it and partners with it intentionally, is the difference between chronic confusion and consistent clarity, between feeling lost and feeling guided, between forcing life to happen and allowing life to organize around you. Let me show you 7 specific ways this shows up in real life. As I go through these, don't overthink it. Just notice which ones feel familiar. The first is what I call the 3 a.m. clarity downloads. You wake in the middle of the night, not with anxiety, but with sudden crystal clear insight about something you've been stuck on for weeks. A solution arrives fully formed, often with steps already mapped out. This happens because your brain's pattern recognition systems are highly active during REM sleep. With high integrative processing, you're conscious enough during these cycles to catch the insight as it surfaces. For you, this might happen multiple times a week. The second pattern is instant knowing about people. You meet someone new, and within moments you have a complete read. Not from what they're saying, but from thousands of micro signals your brain is processing. Tone, posture, timing, eye contact, facial tension, the energy they carry. Your nervous system synthesizes this into what feels like instant knowing. Research shows these snap judgments are often more accurate than assessments made after hours of interaction, because your first read is pure data before your rational mind creates stories to explain it away. The third sign is pattern clustering. You notice repeated numbers, 111, 222, 444, on clocks, receipts, license plates. Or you hear the same phrase from 3 different people in one day. Or a specific symbol keeps appearing. Most spiritual content will tell you these are messages from the universe. Maybe. But here's the more useful explanation. Your brain's salience network, which determines what's important enough to bring to conscious attention, is operating at extremely high sensitivity. You're not creating these patterns. You're noticing patterns that are always there, but most people filter out as irrelevant noise. The fourth pattern is body wisdom that arrives before mental understanding. Your stomach tightens around certain people, even though they seem nice. Your chest expands when you think about a particular direction in life. Your shoulders tense when you're about to say yes to something you should decline. This is your nervous system's pattern recognition operating through the vagus nerve, sending signals faster than conscious thought can catch up with. Your body knows before your mind understands why. The fifth indicator is creative downloads that arrive fully formed. You're in the shower, driving, or just waking up, and suddenly an entire idea appears complete. A business concept with the steps, a solution to a relationship issue with exact language, an artistic vision with composition already decided. This is integrative processing at peak function. Your subconscious has been working the problem using all available data, and when it reaches a solution, it delivers it as a complete package. The sixth sign is seeing structural problems others deny. You walk into a workplace or relationship system, And within days, you see exactly what's dysfunctional, what's unsustainable, what's headed for collapse. When you try to point it out, people act like you're being negative. This can make you feel crazy. But what's actually happening is your pattern recognition is showing you system dynamics that others can't see or refuse to see, because acknowledging them would force uncomfortable change. You're not being negative. You're seeing accurately. The seventh and final pattern is what I call prophetic dreaming. Not predicting the future in a fantasy sense, but dreaming in a way that runs simulations. You work through complex problems, receive guidance from deeper wisdom, and process upcoming situations before they arrive. You might dream about a conversation you need to have, and when you actually have it, you feel prepared because you already navigated it in sleep. That's your unconscious mind, preparing you based on patterns it's already detected. Now, the critical question: if you recognized yourself in 3 or more of these patterns, and I'm guessing you did, or you wouldn't still be here, what are you actually doing with this capacity? Because awareness without application is just interesting information. Most people stop right here. They feel validated. Think, cool, I'm wired differently. And then go back to overriding their intuition, ignoring their gut, and wondering why life keeps feeling hard. So let me give you a usable framework. No theatrical rituals, no portal fantasies. Just 3 phases that work with how your nervous system actually learns. The first phase is recognition. About 7 days. Your only job is to notice without needing to do anything about what you notice. Each morning, spend 5 minutes writing down any dreams, insights, or random thoughts from the night before. Don't analyze, just capture. Each evening, take 5 minutes to note any meaningful coincidences from your day. The number you kept seeing, the phrase multiple people said, the person you thought about who then contacted you. Again, no interpretation, just observation. You're training your attention to flag patterns instead of filtering them out as noise. The second phase is verification, days 8 through 14. This is where you learn to distinguish signal from noise. Not every intuitive hit is wisdom. Sometimes what people call intuition is just anxiety with a spiritual costume. Not every coincidence is meaningful, so you use a filter. First, check your body. Sit with the insight for 30 seconds and notice what you feel physically. True intuition, even when pointing towards something difficult, arrives with calm clarity. The breath steadies, the chest feels open. Anxiety feels urgent, tight, contracted, mentally loud. Second, check consistency. Has this pattern shown up across different contexts? Or is it one moment you're obsessing over? Real patterns repeat across multiple areas. Third, apply the action test. Does this insight point toward a specific next step, or does it just flatter your ego? Practical guidance says, make the call, have the conversation, research the thing, take the step. Ego disguised as insight says, you're chosen, special, above everyone, and gives you nothing to do. By the end of week 2, your signal-to-noise ratio improves dramatically. You stop chasing every coincidence and you stop ignoring every gut feeling. You become accurate. The third phase is integration, days 15 to 21. This is where your life actually changes. Now you take the clearest, most verified insight and act on it. Not perfectly, not dramatically, but one clear signal at a time. with the smallest aligned action. You look back at your notes and identify the single strongest pattern that passed all 3 tests. The one that keeps repeating, that feels calm and clear, that points to something real. Write it in 1 sentence. Then write what you're afraid will happen if you act on it. Name the fear. Fear that stays vague has infinite power. Fear that is named becomes manageable. Then ask the brutal question people avoid. What does it cost you not to act? What are you sacrificing every day you stay frozen? What version of you are you refusing to become? Calculate the cost honestly. The pain of staying stuck is always greater than the discomfort of change, but staying stuck is familiar, and familiarity can feel like safety. Now identify the smallest possible action you can take today that aligns with the insight, not the huge leap. The first step. If the insight is to leave a draining job, the first step isn't quitting tomorrow. It's updating your resume or reaching out to 1 person. If the insight is to have a hard conversation, the first step isn't the whole conversation. It's writing down what you need to say. You're building trust between your conscious mind and your deeper intelligence. Each time you receive guidance, verify it and take aligned action, even tiny action. You prove to your nervous system it's safe to keep showing you the truth. And now I'm going to insert something again that almost nobody inserts, because it forces accountability. The question that these so-called spiritual gurus and AI slop channels will never ask, because it destroys their narrative, is this: who created all of this? Who designed the laws and the reality mechanics we've been discussing? We will tell you, because this is matrix of knowledge. There is a creator. It is unjust to believe in all these patterns, all this intelligence, all this order, and then pretend there is no author. Praise be to the One, the Most High. God is real, and He is watching what you do with what you've just learned. Knowledge is not entertainment. Knowledge is a responsibility. Never forget the Creator while you study creation. Now here's the part most people don't connect. None of this works if your nervous system is chronically dysregulated. If you live in low-grade fight or flight, you can't access real intuitive intelligence. When your system perceives threat, it shuts down higher-order processing to focus on survival. Your prefrontal cortex goes offline. In that state, you cannot distinguish intuition from anxiety, signal from noise. So the base layer is regulation. You don't need hours of meditation. You need 5 minutes of targeted regulation daily. Do bilateral stimulation for 2 minutes. Tap knees, left, right, or butterfly taps on shoulders, or slow walking with left-right awareness. Then do 2 minutes of extended exhale breathing, in for 4, out for 8. Add a low hum on the exhale to activate the vagus nerve. Then 1 minute with a hand on your heart and belly and a simple internal statement. Right now, in this moment, I am safe. You're not denying reality. You're telling your nervous system to stop hallucinating danger. When the body becomes calm, the signal becomes clear. 5 minutes a day for 21 days. If you do nothing else, do that. Your thinking slows. Your emotional reactivity decreases. Your clarity increases. Your intuitive hits become cleaner. You stop getting hijacked by noise. Now we're at the only moment that matters. What do you do next? You have 3 options. 1. Close this video, feel inspired, and forget it within an hour. 2. Tell yourself you'll start soon. Procrastinate and watch the window of clarity close. 3. Decide right now. while recognition is alive, that you'll do the 5-minute regulation practice every morning for 21 days, and you'll run the 3-phase framework exactly as described. If you choose the third option, subscribe to Matrix of Knowledge and stay close to this series, because we build these frameworks step by step. Then leave a comment with one thing. Which of the 7 signs hit you the hardest? Not to perform spirituality, just to name your reality. Putting recognition into words strengthens the pattern and makes it conscious. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not crazy. You're waking up. And waking up isn't about collecting mystical ideas. It's about becoming accurate, seeing clearly, regulating your system, acting on what's true, and never letting your search for patterns distract you from the creator of patterns. That's Matrix of Knowledge. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, trust what you notice, verify what you feel, act on what's clear, and remember the one above it all. I wish you all the best. And until next time.